Here I'm going to look at multiplying polynomials. The technique that I'm going to go over you can use for any multiplying of polynomials. In this case we've got a binomial because there are two terms multiplied by a trinomial because there are three terms. So I'm going to start by writing any of them. I'm going to just use the second one first. And I'm going to list out all of the terms. So negative 6x to the 7th, and then I have a positive 3x squared, and then a 4. I'm going to do the same thing with the other polynomial here, the 5x cubed plus 2x, but I'm going to write those vertically. 5x cubed and 2x. And essentially when we're multiplying things together, we just need to make sure, for example, like this 5x cubed gets multiplied by everything in the other polynomial, and the same thing for the 2x, and so we're making sure that we multiply all the possible combinations together. This technique just is to help us keep track of it all. So what I've created is essentially a little table here. And so I know that after I do all the multiplication, I'm going to actually have 6 terms that I'm going to end up with, and then there might be some that combine, and we'll just see that right when we get to the end. So to get that top left box, we're multiplying 5x cubed times negative 6x to the 7th. So 5 times negative 6 is negative 30, and then when we have x cubed times x to the 7th, we can add the exponents, and so we get x to the 10th. So if I move over to the right, now we have 5x cubed times 3x squared, which gives us 15x to the 5th. So now 5x cubed times 4, which gives us 20x cubed. So I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom row. Two x times the negative 6x to the 7th, negative 12x to the 8th, 2x times 3x squared gives us 6x cubed, and then 2x times 4 is 8x. So everything in the boxes actually represents our solution. Before I write it out, I'm just going to see if anything can combine. So I'm looking for anything with a like term. Well, negative 30x to the 10th, there's no other term with x to the 10th, and I'm going to start by writing the largest one. So I have negative 30 x to the 10th. So I'll just cross it out once I'm finished with it. The next exponent down would be the negative 12x to the 8th, and there's no other term that has a x to the 8th, so I'm going to write negative 12x to the 8th. Cross that out. The next one is to the 5th, so 15x to the 5th, it's positive, so it's going to be plus 5x to the 5th. And normally I would just write these all across, I'm just running out of space here. The next one is x cubed, and we actually have a 6x cubed and a 20x cubed, so I'm going to combine those together. So if we add those, we end up getting a positive 26x cubed. Cross those out, and then finally plus 8x. And that's our solution. To show you how this same method would work for a smaller example, let's just go do the same steps here. So x plus 5, I'll put vertically, x minus 2 horizontally, I'll create our box. So x times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. If I move down to the bottom row, we've got 5 times x, which is 5x. 5 times negative 2 which is negative 10. So then if we combine everything, x squared is our first term, the 5x and the negative 2 can combine to give us positive 3x minus 10. So sometimes people use the method known as foiling to multiply this out, but essentially what we're just trying to use is distribution, and so we could use this method as well.